Southern California, your hometown station, KHTS. I'm your host, Fred Arnold, on the Southern California Real Estate and Business Show. I'm joined by two great guests, but I'm going to introduce the beautiful lady to my right, mortgage professional. For a long time with American Family Funding, been on the show many times.
Yes.
Knows mortgages as good as anybody in this valley, let alone Southern California, and knows everyone in town. And here's another great guest, Glen. So
Yes.
would you introduce our guest?
I would love to. Glen Esteban is a financial advisor with LPL Financial, and he's been helping clients plan for and achieve their future financial planning goals since 1999. Wow.
That's right.
You've been in it a long time.
Yeah.
His firm uses a variety of tools and investments and vehicles to help his clients achieve those goals using a hands-on active money management approach. Glenn, thank you so much for coming. Glenn is also a part of my networking group, and he joined us about 6 months ago.
That's right. I got accepted.
And he's brings a lot to our group and has some great knowledge. So let's share with the people listening. What would you say is the most common mistake people make, or the misconceptions that they have when it comes to financial planning?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, Fred. Thanks
Sure.
for having me on the
You're
show.
welcome.
Just like you said in the beginning, active money management is key. And what the most common, error people make is, and it typically happens at the employer level, they open up a 401k, they set up that allocation, and then they automatically start pumping money into that program. Now, that's usually the last time they ever look at that allocation. And the problem with doing that is that allocation may look one way when they started, but a year or two down the road, it gets out of balance.
Right.
Okay, so that's just one aspect of why a hands-on active money management approach is key, is to put that back in shape, but also to keep track of what's going on in the world, in the local economy, in the domestic economy. So we have to keep an eye on what's going on in the world so that we move things around accordingly, so that you minimize volatility in a portfolio. So that's why that's critical.
Now,
Very important.
one thing I hear a lot, and so I'm going to go a little bit off script just because I love this topic.
Sure.
I hear a lot, well, you got plenty of time to make it up, and that drives me crazy when they say that. It's kind of like, well, but I don't want to lose money, right? I'd like to minimize that. How do you take an active approach to, let's say, economy that's been running hot for 8 years, where the stock market's been rolling and it's going good? Are you able to look at different alternatives for people when it comes to a time like now, where some believe we're at the end of this marathon? Yeah.
Well, that's a good question, as always.
Not that you can predict the future,
Right.
but people are going to be concerned and say, when's this run going to end?
You're absolutely right. And you have to keep track of that, because up and up and up and up is not good necessarily, because just like a rose bush needs to be trimmed back so it could flourish even more at the right times. You have to address things at the appropriate times. Just like in the mortgage business, when things change, like rates go up, lenders are adjusting their products and programs for that change. And the same thing happens in financial planning. There are tools and vehicles that help minimize, and in some cases fully protect the balance of your assets. So there are tools designed for all situations at different times.
Yeah,
in
and I think
the
the key is the professional you're working with has knowledge of the tools, whether you use them or not.
Right.
But they have knowledge of the tools.
And access.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about working with LPL Financial. I've worked in many different with many different companies and different models. What I love about LPL is that it is a brokerage firm that represents all of the available money managers out in the open market. We do not have, for example, mutual funds with our name on it. Okay, we don't have annuity programs with our name on it. So it's non-biased. We're looking for the best of the best, and our team of analysts are looking for those funds that best suit that particular client. And there's many layers of management going on, so that's also critical. And we're also among the most competitive when it comes to the advisory fee base, for example. So that's really exciting to work for them. And I've been with them for many, many years now, and I don't see myself going anywhere, actually.
Well, good. Yeah, no,
So-
it's our businesses run hand in hand, and it's important to be there for your clients, and we both need to be good listeners
Absolutely.
because we need to help. We need to understand where our clients are going, what they're trying to achieve, and we have to be there to and be prepared to guide them down that road to be successful.
That's an excellent point because, again, one of the other common mistakes I see is people don't have a plan. What's the saying? People don't plan to fail; they just fail to plan.
Right.
Okay. And there's a lot of truth in that because when I married my wonderful wife Terry back in 1989, I didn't say, "Hey Terry, let's think about the best possible way we can be broke by the time we're 60 years old." Of course, you don't plan that way. You'd like to be financially independent, but unless you have a roadmap for that, there's no way you're going to know. So that's one of the things we do for our existing clients on a complimentary basis. Periodically, we'll update their financial plan.
Right.
It'll give them a snapshot of where they are. And how close they are to being on target to where they want to get to. Knowing your financial independence number, meaning that lump sum of money you're going to need by the time you retire, is
Your number.
absolutely critical.
What's your number?
Yeah, what's your number?
I
That's
love
exactly
that
right.
commercial.
Yeah,
What's your number?
yeah.
I
And they're
know.
walking around with
done.
it. Yeah. So that's important. Most people should know. If they don't know, find out. And you can find out by giving me a call. But yeah, know that number. And you should be able to answer that question anytime somebody asks you, what is your financial independence number?
Exactly, and in the mortgage field, we do that especially I do that when someone wants to refinance. What are you trying to accomplish? What are your goals?
Right.
Because everything has to make sense.
That's right. And Fred, you said earlier that people think, well, I got time.
Yeah.
I can wait. Well, that may be great, but why not start now? And usually the excuses I hear is that you're trying to get out of debt first, or you're trying to fund your kids' college first, or you're trying to do this. There's all these excuses. But you've heard the saying too, it's very true, pay yourself first.
Right.
You need to start with some amount and get that habit down of putting a little bit away each and every month. And I say this to 18-year-olds. As soon as they get a job, their first thinking should be 15% of everything I make gets put away into something that's going to earn some kind of
I
interest.
was raised where you put one paycheck into savings and you use your other paycheck. Normally you get paid twice a month, right?
Right.
Or once a week.
Right.
You take one of the paychecks and put it away into a savings account, and the rest you can use to spend.
Great advice.
And I was always raised, if you don't have it, you don't go out and buy it.
Yeah.
You have to have the money in the bank in order to support whatever you want. So if you want something, save for it and then go buy it.
Right.
This generation, we have about a minute left, and
Sure.
I want to talk about this. This generation that's coming up, the younger generation, they're more savings conscious because they saw the struggles of their parents, and
That's right.
and rightfully so. But the one thing I will say that's really important to understand, there's always going to be a need for more money. So start saving early for retirement, because as you save, okay, first your kids need braces, and then your kids learn travel ball, and then your daughter wants to do this, and then your son wants to do this, and then your brother needs to borrow $10,000, and then you go to college. There's always going to be something, no matter what.
That's right.
But if you can do it automatically, or you can do it through auto transfer, and it's tax deductible in many cases, then because who's going to take care of you when you retire, when you have to take care of everybody else up until the age of 55 or 60 when everybody moves out of the house?
Right.
And I think that's so important
Yeah.
to understand. There's always, everyone says, well, but I got to put money away for my kids' college. They will figure it out. If you say, I'll give you $50,000, you start day one, they'll figure out the difference.
Exactly. And that's exactly the point I was going to talk about. That's the most common thing people do, and that's why they delay saving. They say, well, I got to save for my child's college education. And I use the analogy of when you get on a plane, one of the first pre-flight instructions you get is if you're traveling with a child and there's a change of air pressure in the cabin, they say put your mask on first.
Yep.
And the reason is because what good are you going to be to your child if you're hallucinating and you're lacking oxygen? You got to take
Well,
care of
most
yourself
adults are
first.
hallucinating half the time, anyways,
That's
too. I mean, with money. I mean, let's be honest.
Right.
That's so true.
Yeah.
So I'll share one
So-
one tip.
Sure.
I've been saving since my first job. Been blessed from my father to give me that principle. But the one thing we did is we put $1,000 in a bank account when each child was born, and $100 a month. And when the second child was born, it's $200 a month. 100 for each.
Right.
And they both had about 55% of their college cost by the time they were 18 by just letting it go.
Excellent.
And we gave them each 100 for college, which can get them to almost any school. And then anything above that, they're on their own. So my
Right.
son wanted to go to private school. He figured it out. My daughter went to a public school, UCLA. I said, hey, you can have the difference. She figured out how to finish in 3 years.
That's right.
Kids
Yep,
will figure it out.
Yep.
But you got to take care of yourself first. And that's brilliant that you said that, Glenn.
Thank you.
Yeah. So those that want to reach out to Glenn, how can we reach?
Well, they can, first of all, they can check the website at KHTS website to
Yep.
look at the video, just
Yeah.
in case they miss it.
And we'll get this on social media.
Exactly. And if you're driving, don't stop or don't be distracted. But it's the number's 888-842-5444. Again, 888-842-5444. Or they can find us on the on our website at www.getwisecounsel.com. That's getwisecounsel.com.
Great guest.
Great.
Again.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, Rona,
Yes.
yeah, we're getting ready to go on a break. So thanks for coming in again.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Thanks for having
Absolutely. Well, I hope you enjoyed this last hour of the Santa Clarita Real Estate and Business Show. I'm your host, Fred Arnold, on your hometown station, KHTS.